Hi Cancer, my name is Tiana and welcome to my channel Inspired by Ease. This reading is intended for April 15th through April 30th, but really whenever you come across this video is when you're meant to receive these messages. So it can be applicable right now, 3 months from now, a year from now, whenever. These are general. You can swap around the characters. I don't think that will be necessary in this reading for you, Cancer. And again, my readings aren't date specific, so let's just jump right in. Your energy themes or signatures that you're dealing with right now are remembrance and realization, and I feel like remembrance and realization go hand in hand, because remembrance is like, like I've had this insight, or I remembered something, that light bulb going off, and realization is kind of very similar. I will just quickly read these cards, and I just really want to jump into the animal totems. Realization supports our internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world, in this world. And then remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through. And just as a side note, with remembrance, this isn't just something that you've remembered in your brain, but this is something that you've remembered in your soul, that's like innate inside of you, that you were born knowing, that's just kind of been unlocked, and now now it's kind of being released at a very specific time, and perhaps you have agreed that this sort of information would be revealed to you at this time, and it's part of your soul knowing. Okay, where was I? Remembrance supports our memory of everything we have gone through as a soul body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. So just keep those energy signatures in mind. Now we are going to go into your animal totems. So you got a lot of animal totems, but this is not you. This is another person or opportunity, thing, whatever, in your life that you kind of suddenly found out that what their true colors were, and they weren't the best for you. Green-eyed monster, jealousy, could be highly reactive, gets triggered, got possessive, something like that, and it can sting, and I'm hearing whiplash. So anyone dealing with this kind of character can get whiplash really easily from having to deal with them. Now, the interesting thing for you, Cancer, is what I was getting was that you were somehow, just stay with me because this is going to apply to you all really differently. So this is you, Cancer, and it seems like you were kind of hitching a ride on this panther. See how there's all of this black here? I'm kind of seeing it, this black, as the fur or the hair of the panther, and right when you realize that this, you realize their true colors, that they aren't good or healthy for you, you took flight into the light. So yeah, there's something about that you were hitching a ride or something on this, not that you were, only you would know. I don't want to say that I'm hearing the phrase taking the easy way out, but that might apply to some of you, but I'm not really sure if that was it. I think it was just more of like, moth to me resembles more of like a child's just stick with me, Cancer, because I love you so much. Sometimes these messages are hard to deliver, but they're always delivered out of love. So, maybe you were a bit naive when going into this. You thought it was okay or good or something, and it seemed like you kind of, just by writing on the back of this thing, you triggered it into something, and so now you're fleeing. But I'm wondering if, I don't know. This is very interesting, but you were somehow catching a ride on this thing that you thought would be good, but it was not. I feel like there's more here. But yeah, there's some element of like wishful thinking, or maybe trying to take the easy way out, or maybe being a little bit, giving someone the benefit of the doubt, but maybe kind of, I don't know if it's naivety or just, I don't want to say naivety, but just a lack of experience maybe. Or if you knew that there were bad signs, but you kind of were shielding yourself or kind of sticking your head in the sand about it. Because I don't know if there is an element of kind of desperation of some kind. This is a very, very interesting energy. But anyway, it's all going to be different for all of you. For example, this might represent like really high dreams of being in the limelight. Like being a dancer, singer, actor of some kind. And so you're like, I want to be a star. And some kind of scam company gets you, and you're like, yay, I'm on my way to being a star. But then you find out that they're not genuine. There's something about not authentic and not genuine, but at the same time, there was something that you weren't looking at. It's not that you're not genuine, but there was just something that you weren't looking at, you weren't seeing, and it was kind of activating this outside perception of you, of not totally being aware of your light side and your shadow side, and you were just focused on your light side, maybe not trying to pay attention to the dark or your shadows. And so it caused you to not really be aware of shadowy people. So the rejection of your shadows kind of blinded you to shadowy people, or not that great of characters here. And I'm now hearing that it kind of shut you off to your intuition. And we've all had moments like this, Cancer. We all have. And this doesn't negate your intelligence, your wisdom, or anything like that. There, especially in times of heightened fear and things like that are going on in the world right now. A lot of people right now are in a state of denial. So long story short, Cancer, I think that a little bit of tough love here, that you were in a little bit of denial, and it kind of got you in a kind of heated situation, where you were in denial about this person or opportunity or whatever it was. But So you launched off of this panther, stingray. Okay, they're gone. Now you can begin to read this in a multitude of ways. Now I feel like you are kind of landing. So there's two ways to see this. You can see the moth going up into the light or kind of descending down into the darkness of but it's kind of the opposite here. So it's like there's a lot of symbology here because you were maybe perhaps in denial about some kind of shadowy aspect, which made you land in the darkness, but then you got into the light, into awareness, and you're like, oh, I see what I was rejecting, or I can see what I was in denial about, and now you're in the darkness, but you're aware of it, and now the darkness has become the light. And so with this buffalo, you could be transitioning into a buffalo, or you could just be have the support of a buffalo person or something that represents this buffalo. And buffalo to me is spirituality and action, spirituality and practice, and having a loud thunderclap of insight and realization and insight and epiphanies, and being very strong and rooted in a sense of higher intelligence, of spirituality, awareness, consciousness, this type of thing, and also being very, very sacred. I like to think of Native Indians when I see buffalo. So buffalo can also represent something that's very sacred. And so the fact that you're landing and surrounded by sacredness and spirituality and perpetual movement forward on the basis of divine spirituality is something to really revel in. And so there's also a theme of authority. So either you are becoming an expert or an authority figure, someone that is highly sought after, or you're surrounding yourself by highly respectable, stable people. The panther definitely was not stable and not safe. Okay, so now we have the lion, and we also have the cosmic egg. So I'm feeling that you are now totally in some kind of community or group that feels very much like family. You're very much supported by these very archetypal energies, buffalo and lion. Those are two animals you do not want to mess with. The buffalo is coming across more docile and more peaceful to me, and the lion is coming across, of course, more regal, not something to be messed with, something that will, fight for you. And the cosmic egg represents harmony and completion and being the top of the top, especially in this deck. Reaching the top of the top of spirituality and enlightenment, and having perhaps even the highest view on a topic. So you can read this one or two ways. You are the moth that's surrounded by these pillars of strength in some form or another, or you are becoming these, I want to say, archetypes, where you are no longer naive or in denial, or I feel like there was some kind of form of denial about who you were or who you are. There was something like you thought that you were just this one side, because you were kind of avoiding something about yourself that maybe you had judged or was told that was bad or something. But these archetypes are actually helping you to be completely aware of all your dimensions and sides and multifacetedness, if that's a word. And they're helping you to have this wrap up. It's just totally wrapped around that egg. Yeah, some kind of completion and creating more harmony and wholeness within yourself. So you're either the moth, kind of having like a butterfly metamorphosis, spiritual kind of process, or you are literally becoming a buffalo, a lion, and then the cosmic egg, which is the highest of the highest kind of archetypal energy here, and being of true authority and mastery. And of course, the moth could be talking about some things that happened in the past, not necessarily right now. So I hope you didn't take any offense to anything that I said, Cancer. I said it all with love. We've all been the moth. So there's certainly no judgment on my side. So now we're going to go into the fairies. You have the 0 point card and the Singer of Healing. So this denotes complete rewrite or a fresh new page, clean slate, new beginning of some kind, which, and I don't know what's happening first, if the healing is creating a new slate, which is what I would think it would be, or if the new slate is creating this kind of chain reaction of healing inside of you. So it's going to be different for all of you, but there is a lot of healing taking place and a lot of newness and purity and innocence that's being revived back into your life. We next have unity. So of course you are coming more into unity with yourself, more wholeness, more integration, more alignment with yourself, and also with others. The more that you are becoming aware and not necessarily, maybe you weren't in denial about a certain part of yourself. Maybe you were in denial about maybe some things that were going on in the world as well. But there was some kind of sense of denial. But now that that's not really a part of you anymore, and there's this theme of kind of duality that's taking place. You can hold both the light of yourself and the shadow part of yourself, the part of you that was traumatized, abused, felt any sort of pain, anything like that. And you can say, I am this like eternal being that's just pure love and light. And yeah, I also experienced pain and abuse, and I'm both. So what I'm trying to get at is that because you've come to this place of duality and more enlightenment and wholeness and integration, not only are you finding more wholeness and integration within yourself, but you're being able to connect with others more easily. And on that note, we have the Singer of Intuition. So like I was saying, with the moth in the beginning of this reading, it was almost like your intuition was shut off. And it enabled you to be blind to certain things. And now your intuition is being turned back on because of this awareness and ability to hold duality. And so you're able to use your intuition. and not maybe feel scared of what you're sensing, and just be like, oh, I'm sensing that this person doesn't have the best interest, so okay, that's okay, I'm gonna go over here, instead of like, this person doesn't have my best interest. I don't know, it's just like a totally different way of being. So I hope that makes sense, Cancer. But yeah, your intuition is definitely being turned on in a multitude of ways, and it's helping you ascend to these higher realms, like the cosmic egg. It's helping you with the cosmic egg. I'm just getting prompted to talk about Kundalini. Kundalini, if I understand it correctly, it's not a literal snake, but metaphorically, it's believed that a metaphorical kind of snake-like energy rests at the base of our spines, and when the Kundalini energy is activated, the snake, the energetic snake, travels up our spine to our crown chakra, which is what the cosmic egg represents, our crown chakra. So yeah, there's some kind of really important, powerful energy that is being activated with you, Cancer, and it's helping you open your crown chakra to be more receptive, to realize more, to remember more, and yeah, to be receptive to new information, downloads of information, new insights and realizations. And I do believe that the crown chakra is the color purple as well, so that's very interesting. And so this is just all helping you to, we have so much purple. We have remembrance, the buffalo, singer of intuition. And so this coming online of your intuition is helping you ascend and maybe see things from a higher level and get a better view of certain things. We next have Mike the Myomancer here, and yeah, we'll just stick with that. Mike the Myomancer is all about patience. So it's going to be really important for you to have patience with yourself during this time. I'm hearing that, like, you don't need to get it all done, Cancer. You don't need to get to the top. You don't need to get to the cosmic egg level right away. If you are feeling that way, even in terms of money, you aren't needing to gather a whole bunch of money right away, or even toilet paper or whatever. If you're out, by all means, get some toilet paper, but you don't need to hoard it or anything. That's just my personal opinion, but anyway, yeah, it's going to be really important for you to have patience with yourself and practice self-love, practice discernment, and I'm also hearing self-forgiveness. That's going to be also really important. And, you know, I'm talking about having this higher perspective, but there's also a need for you to kind of rewind the tapes of your memory and kind of look back with fresh new eyes and look more closely to the details of things and saying, I see how that worked out, or I see how that happened, or I can now see, you know, hindsight is 20/20, unfortunately, but you know, I can see that from the get-go. I could see how this person was not a good deal. So that could be that as well. Next we have ecstasis. So I'm getting third eye activation here. Your pineal gland, your vision, your foresight, things like that are starting to really open up for you. So it's not only your intuition of your feelings, but it's also this kind of insight that you're having, these realizations that you're having in the mind, not just in the heart, but in the mind as well. And you're starting to connect the dots here. Next, we have the Green Woman. So from this whole journey of having this fresh, new, clean slate and healing and experiencing more unity and your intuition coming online and being patient and practicing self-love and self-forgiveness and allowing your third eye to open, all of these things are leading up to this moment of more freedom for you, more liberation for you, a spark of inspiration and creativity and flow. So it's almost, I want to say, like, the lack of structure is creating more safety and security in your life by being able to be in the flow. And I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, instead of going to a 9-to-5 job where, that's structured, that's very structured, but it's more like you're aligning with more of who you are and your purpose, and so you're just waking up feeling refreshed, and you're just allowing your inspiration to guide you, and it's actually creating more freedom and security and safety and finances, money, family, kinship. And I also want to say that your playfulness and your true light is coming online. We've all been there in the past where we thought we were being authentic or light and bubbly, but in some ways it was more of a front or a conditioned way of being. But this is true, I want to say, alignment, true joy, true creativity, true zest for life, I want to say. And I want to say that you can't be contained. I really think that's an important message for you, Cancer. You can't be contained. Your creativity, your consciousness, your awareness, your insights, your realizations, none of it can be contained. Remember that. And your physical 3D life is getting stronger and stronger the more freer and in the flow you are. I was just kind of getting a vision of, question what security and safety and stability really means to you. I was just getting a vision of a woman who, used to work in corporate America, and but then she, maybe this thing happened and she got laid off, and she sold everything and converted like a van into one of those like tiny houses, and she got a dog, and now she's just riding all around the country, and she's living a life, a laptop lifestyle, doing what she loves to do. And that actually makes her feel more secure and safe and stable. So you just have to really question what these things mean to you, and not look at, the American dream. It might not look like being married and having 3 children with a white picket fence and 2 cars and all of these things. It might, safety, security, and stability might look like totally different from you. But nevertheless, your family, your support system, your friends, all of that is growing stronger. Your finances, are growing stronger. Your health is growing stronger. Your creativity is stronger and better than ever. Your beauty inside and out is growing stronger. Your spirituality and connection to God is growing stronger. All of these things are just like this buffalo. Like every step you're just covering more and more ground and creating more and more momentum and getting more and more secure. Next, we have the singer of connection. So yeah, there is a theme of experiencing more connection, more real connection that's inseparable, like that Chinese toy where you stick both your fingers in at both ends, and when you try to pull apart, you can't. But it's only when you relax. But that's not the point. That it's like that strong. Like if you try to pull apart, you just can't, nor would you want to. So people that stick by you, that really have your best interests. The other thing that I wanted to say, Cancer, was that the moth could be your child, or it could just be a part of you that never really got to grow up. And the biggest message that I was receiving is that in some way, this could be like your little literal parents, but I actually want to say that people are coming together on your behalf to support you and kind of give you the childhood that you never had, and is just helping you become more childlike again. And maybe in the past, with this panther, it wasn't so much naivety or sticking your head in the sand, but it was just out of desperation. And also when we're in desperation and fight or flight mode, we can kind of do things very hastily and put ourselves in dangerous situations. And so I think that when you left the panther stingray, you actually are creating something that feels safe, something that feels like family, something that feels like tribe. So you can really, rise to stardom if that's what you want to do. You can really be creative and be more childlike and feel relaxed, these types of things. So connection is playing a huge role in your life so that you can really launch and be you and feel safe to not feel safe, if that makes sense. Okay. So I guess now I'm just going to go into the last minute advice Spirit has for you. You are in this time of mending. So I do feel that as this moth energy, there was some kind of fear or survival mode or unfinished business or pain or something that kind of drove you, some kind of fear, pain, or stress or something that kind of drove you towards this panther. It wasn't really your fault, because it was almost like you were jumping out of a ship that caught on fire, and this was like the next thing that you could jump to. That's kind of the imagery that I was getting. And then that burned down. That wasn't good. And miraculously, you've landed yourself between these two very strong, safe figures that are very healing for you. And so there's a lot of mending and healing going on, and it could be feeling very, very uncomfortable. But I want to say they're helping to heal your inner child. They're healing really deep, profound things. And I just want to say that when we're children and we are exposed to trauma, which is unresolved pain, and we go through life with that unresolved pain, a part of us kind of gets stuck in that developmental stage and never really gets to go on to the next developmental stage and then the next. And so we're kind of like frozen in time as this little seedling, despite our body growing and turning into an adult, there's a part of us that is still stuck as a little seedling. And so these two characters are kind of restarting that growth process, unfreezing that growth process so that seedling can start to sprout through the soil and start to blossom into a beautiful flower. And so I feel like that is what is occurring here, which is very, very beautiful, Cancer. The next piece of advice that you received, let's see. You now have people that are very loyal to you and have your best interests at heart and see your heart and are loyal to your heart and want the best for you. So you're being surrounded by very genuine people here. And let's see. We have chopped wood. So this basically means that I'm kind of Cancer. I'm kind of seeing you come back more into a childlike state where there is less structure and there's less. Somehow there are less responsibilities, whether it's just this temporary time during social distancing or not. Somehow there are less responsibilities and pressures on you. And you kind of just get to wake up as a child and be free to do what you feel inspired to do. And there's no pressure of go, go, go. You got to make money. You got to do this. You got to hustle. There's really none of that. And you get to just wake up and be a child, I guess. And so chopped wood is basically saying, you are being a child, or you're kind of completing this developmental stage here. And it's actually helping to ground you, and you're getting to do things that really ground you and nourish your soul. An example of chopped wood is, washing the dishes, making your bed. And so now I'm kind of, being told about like chores and things like that we all do as children. But it's like, as children, we view chores differently than adults. With adults, chores are just part of life. We're not really getting an allowance for doing it. And it's just kind of like our whole lives become a chore, which is really sad to say. But as children, we go and play, we go to school, we learn, we make friends, we go to parties, we go to events, and just like in our spare time, we help mom and dad with the dishes, we help mom and dad with laundry and things like that. So it's like you're being assisted. And the chores of life are no longer a chore. They're more lighthearted and really easy to do. Basically, you're being assisted, and at the same time, it's really important for you to do the things that ground you, that connect you, things that you can do every day, despite you being inspired to do different things every day, there are a set of tasks that you can do every day that really ground you and center you. Okay, the next, let's see, 1, 2, 4 cards are all, they've all been really positive, but the next ones are really, really positive. So this one is just kind of confirming your deep knowing that we were talking about at the beginning of the video, which is about your remembrance and realization. So there is deep knowing that's being unlocked inside of you. Next, this whole journey is just leading you towards more happiness. Your happiness is being unlocked, and more peace. And also it's going to be important for you to breathe and to meditate and to be still, to form that intimacy with God, the universe, your angels and guides, and with yourself. So having this balance between creativity and stillness and peace and happiness. So I think I'm going to leave it there, Cancer. I hope that this was of value, and again, I hope I didn't offend you at the beginning of the video. Just some things I guess had to be said. So yeah, if this was of value to you, please like this video, subscribe, and also feel free to comment down below. I love reading your comments. So don't hesitate to leave a sweet and kind comment down below. And as always, as I say at the end of all my videos, you are so loved. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you are never, ever alone. Big kiss, Cancer. Take care. Bye.